All right, let's talk about Formula One. It's this incredible world of unbelievable speed and mind-bending technology. But what really truly makes it tick? It's this constant, relentless battle between human genius and the rulebook. Let's dive in. So, what is Formula One, really? Well, the official definition calls it the highest class of single-seater auto racing, but everyone calls it the pinnacle of motorsport for a reason. This is the place where the absolute best drivers, the sharpest engineering minds, and the most advanced tech all collide on a massive global stage. You know, the name itself tells you pretty much everything. The formula part, that's the set of rules, the strict regulations that every single team has to play by. And the one, well, that's simple. It means it's number one, the top of the pyramid, the best of the best. And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the sport. It's a constant tug of war. On one side, you've got the regulators setting rules to keep things safe and fair. But on the other side, you have armies of brilliant engineers whose entire job is to read those rules and push them to the absolute breaking point to find a tiny advantage. That battle? That's what drives F1 forward. Now, this constant push and pull, this fight between the rules and the innovators, it isn't new. In fact, it has defined the sport's entire history, creating these amazing, distinct eras, each with its own legends and its own game-changing tech. You can really look at F1's timeline as a series of technological revolutions. It all started back in the 50s, the age of titans, with these massive front-engined cars and the legend Juan Manuel Fangio. Then the 60s hit, and these small British teams turned everything on its head by moving the engine behind the driver. The 80s? That was just about raw, brutal power, with turbo engines pushing well over 1,000 horsepower. And that brings us to today, the incredibly complex and efficient hybrid era. And that 1960s revolution, it was perfectly captured by one man, Enzo Ferrari. The founder of the legendary team just dismissed his scrappy British rivals as garagists, basically just a bunch of guys in a garage. But guess what? It was those garagists who made his beautiful front-engine cars totally obsolete and shifted the entire balance of power in the sport. And the innovations, they just kept coming. The 60s gave us the monocoque chassis, making cars way lighter and stronger. The 70s was the dawn of aerodynamics, wings and ground effect that literally sucked the cars to the track. Then you had the turbo monsters, electronic driver aids in the 90s, and of course, the incredibly complex V6 hybrids we have now. Every single one of these changed the game forever. But all that innovation and speed came at a terrible cost. The sport faced its absolute darkest weekend in 1994 with the tragic deaths of Roland Ratzenberger and the icon Ayrton Senna. Those tragedies were a horrifying wake-up call, and they forced a massive overhaul in safety that has, without a doubt, saved countless lives since. F1's history also shows us that when one team perfectly nails a new set of rules before anyone else, the result is total, crushing dominance. We saw it with Michael Schumacher and Ferrari, who reeled off 5 straight championships. And we saw it again in the modern era with Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes, winning an incredible 6 in a row. But okay, for all this talk about technology, Formula One is not just about the car. It's about this incredible, unique relationship between the human behind the wheel and the massive team that puts them there. It is so easy to underestimate these drivers. They are truly elite athletes, period. They're pulling G-forces like a fighter pilot. Their heart rates are maxed out for 2 hours, and they have to make flawless split-second decisions at over 230 miles per hour. The physical and mental strain is just insane. But here's the thing. Even the greatest driver in history is completely lost without their team. You have to understand this is the ultimate team sport. Behind every single driver on that grid, there are hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 engineers, mechanics, and strategists all working for that tiny fraction of a second. And if you ever want to see that teamwork in action, just watch a pit stop. It is a perfectly choreographed ballet of chaos. You have about 20 people working in total unison to change 4 tires in under 2 seconds. Just think about that for a moment. Under 2 seconds. It's the absolute peak of human coordination under pressure. So when you put it all together, the history, the tech, the humans, you realize that Formula One is really just a never-ending race. And I'm not just talking about what happens on the track on Sunday. It all boils down to this fundamental cycle. It's the rhythm of F1. It always starts with innovation.
One team finds a loophole or invents something brilliant. That gives them an advantage, and they start to dominate. Then, inevitably, the rule makers step in to close the loophole and level the playing field. And what happens next? The race to find the next big idea starts all over again.
Every era, every legend, every single piece of technology we've talked about, it's all part of this same relentless cycle. From Fangio wrestling his front-engine car to Verstappen managing his hybrid power unit, this cycle is the very engine that drives the story of Formula One. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. This constant war between the rules and pure genius, it's never going to stop. So the only real question is, who or what is going to be the next to break the rules, to change the game, and to define the next era of the pinnacle of motorsport?